All right, what up? What up? What up? Oh, I have the wrong banner up. Hey, this is beginning to be a struggle stream
No, we
from
don't.
the
We
jump.
don't claim that at all. We just don't fix it.
Well, what do you call it then?
It's just a couple snafus. That's all.
I don't even know how to fix it. Oh, hold on.
You tell them who you are. Like, who are you?
Well, you know what? You handle the introductions real quick
All right, I got you.
while I fix who we are.
Okay, so hey y'all, welcome to the King and Me show with King and me, Michelle. So today we are popping in just to say what up to you all, give you all a little, part two of what we talked about last week. This is a show where we talk about dating. We were uniquely introduced to one another, so we come here to talk about dating, to talk a little bit about our lives so that you all can see some positivity in dating and relationships out in this world. Especially when social media be making it seem like it's nothing but negative stuff going on. We want to pop in here and give you all some positive stuff to enjoy. Okay? Was that good?
Hey, that was excellent. Thank you. I'm sitting over here smiling like, ooh, okay, rock star over here. I'll take it. I'll take it. So thank you. Hey, look, and that's what we're all about. Exactly what she just said. All right. Last week, our episode was a live stream more about Michelle's perspective, in which it was titled Dating While Damaged or Dating While Perceived as Damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more about her thoughts and her past, and then getting my perspective and what I thought about everything that I had heard or what I had learned while her and I got to know each other. So if you hadn't checked that out, I put that link down in the description. Don't watch it now.
Yeah,
Don't watch it now.
Watch us now.
But watch us now and then go watch that later, right? Because today we talking about moi. We're talking about this guy. And what we wanted to title this Dating While Living as a Free Agent Lifestyle or in a free agent lifestyle. And what does that mean?
Yeah, what is that?
So for the next 40 or so minutes, up until the top of the hour, we normally start at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern, go to 8. Be also sure to follow our social medias because we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube right now. And if there's a like button to hit on whatever platform, make sure that you're hitting it. All right. That helps support the channel. It helps gets us out there. You can share it as well because look, how many people choose to do this? We're choosing to do this. People told us that we should not bring people into our relationship because it will invite negative influences. And the way I look at it, I like her. She likes me. What, like if there's regular parts of relationships that occur. People want to share and talk about the good and things like that. They may not necessarily share and bring up and talk about the awkward or bad. Yeah. I'm okay with talking about that stuff because independent of this channel, I do that all the time anyway.
Same.
And
all the time.
Yes, and speaking of just how you should approach getting to know somebody, we stumbled across this phrase from The Real Pressure. Shout out to Michelle, the other Michelle out there. She used this phrase being hot, honest, open, and
transparent.
And I think that if you live by that, for as awkward as it can be, for as embarrassing as some stuff might be, if you're at least honest, open, and transparent, then if the person still rocks with you and likes you, then they truly like you for who you are, and what the qualities and things that they see in you, whether it's your appearance or your values or everything that makes you you. So I figured, I keep doing that. We keep doing that. And the things that we would like to be as favorable outcomes that comes from this relationship should make us both happy. And that's how I look at it. I can't put words in her mouth, but that's how I look at it. Okay.
No, but I agree with you though. I think if we continue on that trajectory, that we will be fine. I'm looking forward to great things ahead.
Okay, so yeah, are you sure you want to do this?
Look, maybe that's why it's a struggle stream, because you keep trying to like talk me out of it.
All right, you asked for it.
Right.
You asked for it. So, what is the free agent lifestyle? All right, and before I get into what it is, I have to kind of give you. This is the quick backstory of how I discovered it. Right. So, if you're new to this channel, welcome. A little bit about me. I was previously married for 14 years. I got married at 20, a little bit after I graduated high school while I was active duty Air Force, and divorced in 2019. Made the decision late 2018. And since we didn't use any lawyers or mediators or anything like that, the divorce was relatively easy. It was easy and fast. And I'm thankful that it happened before COVID, because that really jacked up the courts and divorces and things like that. And I've heard some horror stories. But after the divorce, right, I was married for 14 years. So I'm newly out into the dating world, the dating scene, the dating marketplace, so to speak, which I had no business really getting into. I had some successful dates, other horror stories, which we'll go into later or on a different episode.
Mm-hmm.
And around, let's see, for about a year and some change, I was, I call it struggle dating, because I had no business dating. And we'll go into that a little bit later on this episode. But I got to a point. What you over here
Nothing.
messing up?
I'm not doing anything. Go back to you. You got to a point.
I got to a point that I was asking myself, because the quality of people that I was dating, it was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. Some good quality ladies and some interesting quality ladies. I'll just say it that way. And I was trying to figure out, like, all right, is it me? Like, what's going on? What should I be doing? Because right now, I need to bounce back. So I Googled how to bounce back. Simple as that. Google.com, how to bounce back. I'm going to say how to bounce back as a man after divorce was the full terms that I put in. And I came across this one podcast called the Bounce Back Podcast by this guy, Greg Adams. And in it, he shared his life as he got divorced in his late 30s, was homeless for a while, and then he rebranded that podcast after about 20 or so odd episodes from the Bounce Back Podcast to the Free Agent Lifestyle Podcast, as he was a basketball coach. So he goes by the moniker Coach Greg Adams. Greg Adams is his actual name, and at one point, coaching was his profession. So I binged, as y'all know, like if I'm interested in something, I will binge that something.
Really?
Yeah.
With all of my my posts that I write every single Monday. By the way, today's Monday. Did y'all check out my post for today? Because it definitely posted on my website at 12 o'clock. So make sure you go check that out. www.godhappenedtome.com.
Link is in the description on her link tree as well. We got both of our social medias on there.
Yes, because we open up in these streets.
Yep. Now, when I was checking out the Bounce Back Podcast after I binged it, something about that spoke to me. I was like, okay, this is a similar trajectory. This guy was married, 2 kids, divorced in his late 30s, and is seemingly sharing what he did to bounce back. So I'm like, all right, I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to adopt the tenets of what he wrote in the original Free Agent Lifestyle book, and what he used to say early in his live streams or his podcast, which would be, hey, in order for you to bounce back as a man, if you've made some decisions in your life that have caused you to get derailed, follow these 3 things, which were centered around not chasing women, essentially, because that's what I was doing. Like, let me just raise my hand and say that's what I was doing. I was working, I was being a dad, I was doing some other things, but I was always trying to just chase tail, so to speak. So I took myself off the dating market after following his advice, which was no long-term relationships, no cohabitation, and no marriage. Those were what he called the 3 tenets of the free agent lifestyle. And essentially, that's an umbrella that has a lot of things up under it, But if you focus on yourself, you'll eventually get to that stuff. And the reasons why were, if you're putting things into a long-term relationship, if you put things into a marriage, are you truly really working on yourself? And that's the things that when he started off, that was his message early on. It has since morphed a bit to where the free agent lifestyle is more about living your life like a free agent. So remember I said that he was a coach? Well, in the sports world, when you're a free agent, you create and generate enough value for yourself that when you become a free agent, so to speak, and you're not beholden to a team, you attract the highest value to you so that people come, seek you out because, hey, you're a high value free agent. Like people talk about what it means to be a high value man. I don't subscribe to that. I will never call myself an high value man. What I will say is that what I can offer somebody is a high quality person. I put people in quality quadrants: high quality, average quality, and there's nothing wrong with the word average in my opinion. I think most people are average. I would raise my hand and say I'm average, right? I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not The Rock. I'm not, some Einstein thinking level type person. I'm an average guy. But there's, thank you. I appreciate that. But there's nothing wrong with being average. So high, average quality, and then low quality people, right? And you can identify, to me, people that fall in any of those quadrants relatively easy if you choose to just not to ignore things. Like I think that too many people are out there putting high value on people and not looking at their quality because, oh, they're attractive, oh, they're pretty, oh, this dude is 6 foot tall with a nice smile. I would look great next to him, so I'm going to allow him to run all over me and use me and then discard me and then blame the rest of men and vice versa. I think guys do the same thing with ladies where they're attracted to a nice behind, big bosoms, and things like that.
Look
and
at you
then
using clean words.
yeah, and Jay, that was hard because I almost slipped on both of them. But we're trying to keep this a PG-13 type live stream here. And when they get done dirty because that person was just using them for resources or whatever, like they didn't actually like them, then they want to go out and call all women 304s and things like that.
Right.
So for me, it was about not necessarily following those three tenets of the free agent lifestyle, which is I wrote hard for it at first. No cohabitation, no long-term relationships, no marriage. I wrote hard on those three tenets at first. I have a little bit of a different viewpoint because of what he morphed it to, and also what I was able to do. What I was able to do while improving my life situation to where I go, if I just create a certain lifestyle for myself, then I can really, and I'm going to just say this straight up, pick and choose who I want to allow to be in my life and grow with. And I can do that if I continue to make high quality decisions for myself and those around me.
So it was because of me?
No, it had zero to do with you.
I feel like it had something to do.
None.
Like a lot.
I wish I could zoom in on myself right now.
You don't have to.
And just isolate it and be like, none.
But it sounds like it was a lot about me.
You can say that. You can absolutely say that. You can absolutely think that. And look, this is me being hot, really, right now. And Michelle, I really hope you don't take this the wrong way.
In case you were just now tuning in, Hot is from The Real Precious. Again, shout out to The Real Precious, sis. We'll be watching your show. He'll be on your show.
I'll be on your show
at 9 o'clock. I'll be watching at 9 o'clock. But HOT stands for honest, open, and transparent. One of the things that we will heavily stress on this channel, not just to shout out The Real Precious, but mainly because we as a couple who are dating, we believe that if you are going to enter into these dating streets, if you are going to go out there and be with people, you need to be honest, open, and transparent at all times, and about all things. King and I, we don't have any secrets. We may have surprises for one another because someone's birthday is coming up in like 27 days. So I may have a surprise or two brewing, but we don't have any secrets from one another.
No intentional secrets.
No intentional secrets.
No intentional like ooh, let me keep this from her because whatever. Like I think we've gotten to sometimes where we'll discover something that it's new, and then be like, oh well, why do you bring that up? It's like, oh well, I didn't think about it, So there's nothing intentional about any secrets that we have or whatnot. And look, we've gotten to the point where hey, it's like we're asking her, are you in a headspace to hear something right now? Or hey, I have something to tell you. Those are words that people dread hearing, by the way. But I appreciate it, right? She said something to me earlier today. She's going, yeah, she said, I have something to tell you. And in my past life, I used to dread that stuff.
What did I tell you?
It was about the TV show that we were watching. You were like, you should keep watching
it. Yeah.
So I didn't jump to Olympic-sized conclusions based off of those words that people dread to hear. Either I have something to tell you or we need to talk. Anytime people say those words, it's like, oh, what this person got to say to me right now. But I just go, all right, talk to me. Mm-hmm. What's up? And typically, because I'm not one to jump to conclusions, in the case for earlier, it was something more jovial or as a joke. But not to derail me, because we were talking about, something that I wanted to say to you real quick. The way that I view my life is whether you came into it or not, this train was going a certain direction anyway. Mm-hmm. If you made a choice to ride with me on said train, great. Keep up. Because if not, you can hop off at any point, but my train is still going to go this way. That's how I looked at myself as a free agent and looking at my life going forward.
And see, here's what I heard about. So what I heard was you are train K, going in this direction, mm-hmm. and you were going to stop and allow me to hop on board.
No.
Yeah, but how else am I going to get on? I'm not a track star.
You better be a track star.
I'm not though. You got to stop. You got to let me on.
You better figure out a way. You
want them to like a slow crawl or something?
No.
You're still going to keep going like full speed. But full speed for you is just still a little bit slower than like full speed for like anyone else to like.
You might think that way, and oh my goodness, that's great. Good, because it'll give you time to figure out that, hey, this is the way. Like they say on Star Wars, this is the way. This is the way. You better figure it out. So that was my thought process. That's how I approach making a decision mm-hmm. to allow Michelle the opportunity to see if she wanted to get on this train. Plain and simple.
Come and ride the train. I ride it.
Ooh, ooh. Come on, ride that train.
Ow!
Mm-mm-mm. Okay. I have no rhythm. This is why she's laughing. Zero rhythm. I went to BlurredCon in DC, and even the Blurs, which are short for Black Nerds, they dancing, they got rhythm, they popping and locking, and I'm just like bouncing my head. Sometimes I hit a little two-step like this, but that's all you get from me. I can't even slow dance. Play another slow dance. Jam. This time make it sweet, and I'll jack up words too. It's slow jam.
Yeah.
Another slow jam. For my baby.
You need to like hold up a flashlight.
Bump, bump, bump. Yeah. So figure it out, because this train's going this way. That's how I view things. And after sacrificing for my marriage that didn't end well, and I'll say, hey, I had some culpability in that. I think I used that word right.
Yes.
All right. I had some culpability in that. But going forward, now that I've kind of figured things out. I don't know things all the way, but I think that I figured things out. I have a desire for how my life would like to, how I'd like for my life to look in its 50s and 40s and 60s.
Ooh, how old are you?
I'll be 39 in about what, 27 days?
Oh, look at you.
So I'm thinking about this stuff now. I had a bit of a setback after my divorce because I was depressed. I was in a depressed state. I wasn't really making high quality decisions regarding my money, regarding my goals, regarding, how I should be living kind of day to day. So I was out here spending money frivolously to try to make myself happy. And it wasn't a good deal for me to do because I wasn't finding happiness in things. It was just temporary hits to try to keep me going. So, I had to take a moment and stop. I had to stop and realize that, there needs to be a course correction. And I made a major course correction. And it started with taking myself off the dating market completely. I was wasting a lot of money, energy, attention, and time. Again, shout out to Coach Greg Adams. He said, guard your meat. I was wasting a lot of money, energy, attention, and time on other people instead of myself. So once I took myself off the dating market completely, life skyrocketed. So
before I want to ask you a question, but I
okay.
also have a comment. But before I do, I'm going to take a moment to shout out those who are watching, whether you're watching this live or the replay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, love button, whatever you're viewing us from. We're so glad that you popped in. And as far as where you're viewing us from, you can only be viewing us one of two places. You can be watching us on YouTube at The King and Me Show, or you could be watching us on Facebook at The King and Me Show. So we thank you for tuning in. Both of us have our Linktree information listed in the description of this so that you can go and find us on social media, because we, independent of one another, we share our content openly. One thing that we're both into and very active on now is AMP, and every morning, weekday morning, King is on AMP at 6:45. Y'all, 6:45. I'm a teacher. I don't know what 6:45 looks like in the summer, but I've had to find it so that I can check out his content.
I appreciate your support, by the way.
Look, 6:45 is early.
I know.
Thank you. I be trying. So when I roll in at 7, y'all, it's close. 7 is close to 6:45. But no, he has a show weekday mornings at 6:45 where he says "Get Amped with King." Wake up and get amped with King. So make sure y'all go check that out.
Ooh.
What up?
Oh, it's on iOS. But if you have an Alexa, anytime between 6:46 and let's say 7:20 is where about my show end. If you have an Alexa, you can say, Alexa, play King Smith on AMP, and it brings up my radio show. The first time I did that, I thought it was so dope. So, but you can only do it in its current version while it's live.
Yeah.
So if you don't catch it on the Alexa live, or if you don't watch it on any iOS device live, you can watch the replay on an iPhone or an iPad, or those two things. Yeah, by going to King Smith on AMP and look me up. It's a bomb radio show.
So I'm also on there, and I do shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. called Hoodie and Holy. So make sure you check us out. We want to be out in these streets. And why are we out in these streets, King? What do you always say?
I'm trying to meet the entire planet. Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. So that's just, a quick little marketing plug right there. So the comment that I want to make is not necessarily towards King. It's to anyone who's watching.
Uh-oh.
So it's nothing bad. I promise.
All right.
So King and I, we vibe well together, right? But I just want you to know, sometimes I may joke about things, but he knows my heart, and he knows how I really feel, and nothing is surprising me that he's saying on the show. None of this, despite my reactions, none of it is a surprise. I knew that this was coming. I was well aware of it. So here's my question for you.
Okay.
When you started talking and you were given the definition about a free agent lifestyle, I guess you could say me in my ignorance, I didn't realize that when Coach Greg Adams first started talking about it, or when he first, mentioned it to people, that it didn't necessarily have to be a permanent lifestyle. I don't want to say permanent lifestyle. It's still a lifestyle adaptation that you're doing. but the singleness doesn't have to be forever. It's just, is it more towards for like a healing period? Like this is the time you as a man need to take to heal and recover from things going on in your life. Is that more so what it
Ooh,
is?
actually, you know what? That's a great way of looking at it. I'm going to say yes. I think that that's a great way of looking at it. For most men, when you really analyze when things are just bad in their lives, or I'm not even going to say most men, really people in general,
Mm-hmm.
it's the people in their lives that are causing them stress that gets them off center, that really has them not focused on what it is that they should be doing or that they need to be doing. So it's more about isolating yourself to work on yourself, not for life. It's not about being an incel or, stopping yourself from having physical intimacy from people altogether because, that's just the bane of your existence. No, it's about, hey, let's remove yourself from things that can be a distraction.
Okay.
Focus on yourself. And then when you've gotten to where you're good with who you are and you want to put yourself back out there, I will almost guarantee it that you will attract a higher quality individual if that's what you're seeking, whether it's one person or more than one person.
It's just not for you.
It will happen. Hey, look, let me go on record and say, I was at a panel in BlurCon and they were talking about all these different things and these different terms around relationships and why. And there was one person that even came out and said that they think that the push for marriage is bad for people that just simply don't want marriage. But that's a whole different episode. But they were talking about like polyamory and things like that. And there's all this different poly this and amory that. And I don't know all the terms that are out there. But for me, I'll tell y'all squarely where I sit, independent of her sitting right here. I will squarely say where I align. I don't have the time, resources, attention span to be dealing with more than one person. I just don't. What up, Pete? I appreciate you tuning in, man. Thank you for writing a comment.
Hey, Pete.
I don't have time. I don't have the resources. And even if I did have the time and the resources, I don't want the headache. I think when you're dealing with, look, first of all, I have one kid.
Yeah.
Why do I have one kid? I always wanted one kid. I'm not the type of person that can spread myself and be this for this person and be that for that person and hope that they're happy. No, I'm not doing that. I've learned that if I'm just me, right, and you choose to rock with me, then you're choosing to rock with me, and I'm thankful for that. If you don't want to rock with me, I'm fine with that. Go live your life. I'm going to live mine. It's all good. So it's not that I couldn't have more than one people or a harem or whatever. I don't want to. I think it's too much. But that's me. And I've told her that. I don't have the expectations of making it to here and, oh, I need Michelle for this and Keisha for that and Jasmine for this. No, look, I want to live my life, play my video games, have fun, network and meet people, do stuff like BlurCon, and at the end of the day, be happy with the people who I have around me, the people who I choose to have around me.
So the word that you like is monogamy.
Yes, I'm a monogamous person by choice. I cannot. I don't have the attention span, the stuff that's in me. Like I don't need to be fulfilled by multiple people for different reasons. I think most guys, if they have a harem, it's not about the personalities. I think it's just about different sexual partners. And if a guy chooses to do it, I think for ladies, and look, this is just my observation.
You ain't gotta worry about this one.
I think for ladies seem to be unfulfilled by, like, if a guy's stoic and he's not the romantic person or not one to hold hands or be physical outside of the bedroom or the house or whatever, and you can get somebody that's willing to do that, I think you see more ladies trying to push for multiple romantic partnerships because they can get different things from different people. I don't see guys running to go do that. But I mean, look, this is just my observations.
Oh, so I see that my dad, not my biological dad, but my godfather, Amy's dad is watching. Hi, Dad.
But how'd you see that?
I I have my ways. I see that he's watching.
Oh, good deal.
So, Dad, this is King.
Hey, I think we spoke. Did we speak on the phone one time, or was on speaker with the car?
No, was he in the car at that time? I thought that was just Amy's mom.
Oh, well, I know I spoke to Amy's mom. Hi, Amy's mom.
So Amy's my bestie, and her dad, who was like my dad growing up, is watching. So awesome.
Good deal.
My next question. Oh man, it was here. Okay, sensitive area.
Come on.
You talked about your depression and what it was like when you came out of your divorce, and I know that trying to find a way to heal, and you know me, I use the term heal a lot. You say bounce back, recover. I say heal. As a way for you to heal, you did a Google search. Shout out to Google sometimes. So you did a Google search and you were able to find support. Was there any other way that you sought healing post your divorce that you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, no, a great question, and I'm glad that you brought it up. I also went and found counseling. I talked to my doctor about my state of mind or whatnot one day as we were talking, and my primary care provider brought it up. He said, "Hey, I would like to get you to see mental health," and I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, just no concerns or anything. I just think that you could probably benefit from it." And I was like, "All right, cool." I wasn't resistant to it. Initially, hearing it was a bit of a shock. So there was that. Plus, I'm in different groups, and one of the groups that I'm in is a veteran peer support group. And I encourage, if you have a community of something that you can attend to, even doing something like that to me was helpful, right? So this veteran peer support group is it's essentially just like how it sounds, where it's a group of people that come together once a month, and we just kind of vent, uh, look for resources, but it's a great avenue because it gives an opportunity for the individual person to maybe get something off their mind, and then just kind of talk to somebody that may be outside of their house. Because look, if you're getting static inside your house, sometimes you may not see a way out or some clarity for something, because the person that you might have static with inside of your house has their own agenda.
Right.
So it was a combination of the peer support group that I still do once a month because it's an amazing group, and a licensed therapist, which I still see, even though I don't see as often. It's more of a
as needed,
ad hoc thing, as needed. Yep.
So again, I want to take a moment to shout out all of our servicemen and women across the world, wherever you may be located. Thank you so much for your service. As King mentioned here, alluded to here, and has mentioned in previous streams, he is United States Air Force retired. We thank you for your service. We thank you for how you continue to support your country, how you supported us then while you were in the Air Force, and how you continue to support now through those groups, those work groups coming together, and everything else that you do for various groups. So thank you to men and women who continue to serve our country. Thank you so much. We are the land of the free because of the brave. Thank you. Question. So last week I talked about the segment was more on me and how I considered myself to be damaged goods because of the things that happened to me in my past. So we met, and just a recap, we had a friend, Ellie, who introduced us. We met at a party. You came with games. He came with the agenda of very much, he walked in single, he was walking out single.
Yep.
He wasn't coming in to meet anyone. But I happened to him. So we now, we went a couple months of just being friends, and now we're dating, and we are thinking a little bit more long.
Yeah,
Did I say okay?
yeah, that's
We are
fair.
thinking a little bit
Yeah.
more long term. It's not that I wasn't sure. I was just if you put that out there, but we're definitely thinking more long term. And I think you may have mentioned it last week, but definitely as someone who's coming from the free agent lifestyle viewpoint, what is it like to be with someone like me, someone in the sense who does come from kind of a jagged past. I don't know if jagged is the best word to use, but more of a less than smooth, kind of more going through some internal healing work herself. Like, what is it like for someone like you, member
Okay.
free agent, to?
I'll be straight up. Everybody has a past.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you that I wasn't going to judge you on your past, but and judging like that sounds harsh, but it's really you are doing an assessment to see if this person can be compatible with what you have going on. We're both doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, I did an assessment of who you are as a person, right? And who you are now. Yes, we all have our past out. You put your past out there. I was able to read it, dissect it, ask you questions about it, and see where you are right now. And what I saw was somebody who can add value to my life if she chose to, and if I chose to allow her to be in it, like vice versa, like a symbiotic type thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't nervous about it because look, I'm just going to be straight up. I have said that if that there was any static whatsoever, I'm out. I'm done. Like I didn't have to be in a relationship.
Right.
So coming from my standpoint is that if I still viewed you as damaged, if I still viewed you as somebody that was going to be more of a drain to me than, somebody that was good to know, friendly, that could provide value, I'm out. So, yeah.
Okay, so I want to jump in. Like, again, this isn't new. None of this is new. But what I will say is this to those who are watching who may be in a dating period of your life, you have to take that into consideration. I think some people think that because they hit a certain age, like he's about to be 39, I'm going to be 37, people think that because they get to a certain age that they kind of have to lower their dating standards. No, not at all. If you were not in a healthy place to date, mentally, emotionally, financially, and I'll even say physically. And there's a whole nother reason as to why I'm saying physically. But if you're not in a good place to date, then don't live that monk mode, where you don't date at all. You don't seek any type of gratification in any way, shape, or form. You were out there working on you, doing the work that you need to be able to heal, and that's exactly what King did when he went in that monk mode for a year. And then when he was just cautious about anyone that he dated and anyone that he invited into his space. And it's not wrong to say that if someone is going to be an anchor, think of the anchor of a ship. If someone is going to be an anchor in your life, cut that anchor and let them go, because you have to be able to heal. You can't do anything from a broken or damaged place. That's what we talked about last week. You can't do anything from that place. You have to approach everything from a healed place in order to see good results. We do have a question on the floor. What if it's the other way? Meaning, like, what if you're the anchor to the other person?
Then that other person has to have used their mouth and
But I feel like if you know you're the anchor, then that means you need to do healing.
Yes, but are people
independent of that person?
Yeah,
independent. I'm sorry, independent of that person, you need to do healing. Like, if you feel like you are the anchor in your relationship, then you need to tell that person, and you need to step away from that relationship and do the work.
Okay, so you need to be. Are you asking, or is that a clarifying thing to your earlier question? I'm gonna need you to clear that up for us, Pete.
I think
because if you're asking me, do I need to be with somebody? Nope.
I think people confuse healing with the need for companionship, you, yes, companionship was, he's clarifying, companionship is the way that things should be. We weren't created to be alone. However, if you are cut and damaged and bleeding, and you don't, like, think about it this way, this may sound a little bit gory, I apologize if this steps out of our PG-13 mode, but if you have a cut on your hand and you are profusely bleeding, why would you give your hand to someone else for them to hold and have all that blood pour on them from something that they didn't do? No, you would go to the doctor, you would get that wound stitched up, get some gauze on it, stop the blood, whatever, before you attempted to give your hand to someone else. Likewise, if you are still in a broken place, if you are still healing, you need to heal before you go and be with someone. I understand the desire and the urge to be with someone else, but healing takes precedence.
I like your analogy. Your analogies are good. They are good, and you come with them quick too.
It's like I'm a teacher or something.
Or something. We can add the or something too, because you're good at that as well.
Yeah. Thank you. I have one more question, but it got lost in the sauce somewhere.
Free agent lifestyle.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. Do you have a question for me?
I mean, look, you were persistent in the pursuit. Is that fair to say?
I mean, persistent's a strong word.
Well, what word would you say?
Active.
You were active in the pursuit. Did you ever did you see me as difficult at any point?
I saw you as stubborn. And I say stubborn because you couldn't see what was right. And well, no, you know what? I don't want to say stubborn. I'm going to continue my statement, but I don't want to say stubborn. I'm going to say you were blind because you couldn't see what was right in front of you. Oh, look at you. You're crying.
It's the light. There is no tears. It is these bright lights.
I'm making you cry.
Stop it. Keep going.
You want some tissue?
Don't you bring... Give me that tissue box.
Anyway. Now I remember the question.
Go ahead.
I would say you were blind. Like, you couldn't see what was right in front of you. But no, I remember the question now. So, you mentioned, I'm always nice. Keep talking.
What's the question?
You mentioned that you have a child, a brilliant child, an amazing child. How much of your pursuit, desire, quest, journey in the free agent lifestyle, how much of that was for the protection, the sanity, what's that other word? That word is escaping me. The bond, the relationship that you have with your daughter. How much of your decision to be a free agent was about your daughter?
Great question. I think it was maybe if I were to give it like a 100% percentage rating, a quarter of that percentage has to do with her, because I am still a father. I still have obligations around that, not just what I have to do with just her, but hey, look, I have a co-parenting relationship with her mother as well, and I'm thankful that there's no static with that, because I've heard of some very staticky co-parenting situations, and I like peace. So for me, I make decisions around what brings peace in my life, and trying to identify what disrupts that. So I still have an obligation to raise my daughter to adulthood. Well, what all does that mean? That means, could I take a job that's further away from her, that might come with a promotion that might be better self-serving for me? Maybe, yes. But what am I giving up by doing that? How do I then have to adjust my current co-parenting agreement because what we have now works while me and her mom is local. But if something changes around that, then that introduces a different element that it's not just me, it's not just my daughter, but it's her mother as well. And look, for the next couple of years, I actually feel some type of way that I do have to make choices with that in mind because look, if I get an opportunity to take a job overseas, which is like my dream thing, I ain't gonna say my dream thing, it is something that hey, I love traveling. For the first 9, 10 years of my life after adulthood, I did a lot of it thanks to Uncle Sam. And even when I was working for the federal government early on, I was able to do a lot of traveling. And now, hey, there's pros and cons to everything. My current job is a full remote job. People would kill to do what I do from home, and I am thankful for that. But I do miss traveling on the government's dime because look, it's expensive just to travel solo. Man. So being a father, having my daughter, and going the free agent lifestyle route, it played about a 20% factor into having to do that. And oh, how much time do we have? You know what? Yeah, we have some time. Let's also talk about it real quick because I didn't really get into the meat and potatoes of where, like, what I was at and what I was doing. I was dating without having my own place. I also didn't have a lot of expendable cash, so to speak, to be dated. The societal expectations are the guy pays and things like that, and I didn't have a lot of disposable. That's the word. I think I said expendable. A lot of disposable cash. I didn't have my own place. Late 30s. So, hey, what kind of guy should be out here dating in his late 30s without having his own place that was broke? Like, I was doing a lot of things that I should not have been doing early on. And when I got things changed and I flipped the script on all of that, it was still like, all right. Because there were people on the team when her and I met. There were folks on the team that, as I then started to look at things going forward, when it was like all right, I don't need the roster, so to speak. I have what I would like to do, and Michelle is a good influence. She's an excellent supporter. She has her own mind and free things, and I love that because I can bounce things off of her, right? I can bounce things off of her and know that she's going to give me solid advice, whether it's something that I may support or advice that go. She has a great way of wording things. Well, you might want to think about this way, and I respect her for that.
I'm a teacher. I can't just be flat out telling people no.
I certainly respect her for that. Like, I seek her counsel. And
look at you, you're crying again. There's a tear.
No, I am not. Wow. One of these days you're gonna be too slow. I'm gonna grab that box and throw it over the truth. I don't know why that happens.
It's because
thinking
of me makes you tear up, and then you just get all emotional. Let the tears flow, King.
Stop this camera.
Let the tears flow.
Look at the camera. Do you see a tear in that man's face?
You didn't know me then. That's why.
So before we end, do we have any questions from anybody in the chat that they would like to ask me regarding my dating past, or Michelle, or just us in general? We will take the last couple of minutes, see if we have any questions, and then close out the show. We will be live next Monday. Yep. We'll be live next Monday. For the most part, it's every Monday. There's a few Mondays sprinkled in between with things coming up that we may have a pre-recorded show. So it'll look like this, but it won't be live. But you'll still get the same comedy. You'll still get the same hotness. You'll still get the same things that we bring, just not in the live
handsome guy.
Hey, I'll take it. Thank you. I will appreciate the compliments. Let's see. We got Mary Reed Smith in the building over on Facebook. Yes, it's allergies. See,
it's not allergies.
That's what it is.
Miss Mary,
No,
it is not allergies.
it is.
Oh,
there's this bright light that's behind me. That bright is
Miss Mary.
You see the light?
He is in love.
In the reflection.
Okay? I'm not crying, and I got way more allergies. I'm allergic to pretty much life, and I am not crying.
Because you cried earlier today, and your tear ducts are all dried out.
I cried all day today.
Lies.
No lies.
No, lies.
That's true. It's not allergies though, Miss Mary. No. He's in love.
No, I really do this thing where if I'm just laying down, tears will come.
Thinking of me.
I don't get. I love the way she interjects in that. That is awesome. Yes, it is allergies. It is this bright light. It is allergies. I don't know why I do that.
You're not allergic to anything.
I don't know why I do that. I literally could just be staring at TV, watching sports, and then my eyes will water up. Maybe my eyes are dry. Maybe this is my body's way of
clear eyes.
Y'all hear this?
You have dry
eyes. All right. So, seeing no questions, I hope everybody have a good week. Look, tune into our social medias. Tune into this page as we'll be cutting some things and posting it up on the page. Sharing our journey with people that are interested in just rocking with us. We do appreciate it, and we're thankful for it. I'm glad that we're doing this. I hope that we can continue to do this. And that's all I've got.
Mr. Free Agent, are you happy to be with me?
Yes. Simple. Yes. Same question. Are you happy to be with me?
Yeah.
Did you feel as though you made a good decision?
Honey, I knew that this was the decision. Like, let me just whisper it so that they don't hear. Mm-hmm. I knew that this was like the decision to make long before you knew.
That's true.
I knew.
I didn't.
I know.
I didn't.
And I tried to tell you, but you ain't want to listen. But no.
Okay. Yeah.
We in this thing.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I think that's our show.
All right.
Let's end it how we end it with a little bit of PDA. Oh, you had something to say?
No, I was just going to say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Miss Mary, for popping in. Thank you, Dad, for popping in. Pete, we see you up in the building. Thank you for your continued support. Don't forget to hit that like, love, heart button, whatever it may be, and share this with someone that you may know, especially if you know someone who is of the dating age, no matter what range of the spectrum they may be. Share our channel with them. That way they can get some content. Ask us some questions. We love questions. I'm a teacher. Like, I get questions all the time. And, he has a remote job and he answers questions all day long because I ain't putting your job business out there. But
it's on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so,
it's on my LinkedIn page. I work for the government.
So he answers questions all day long. So we definitely want to make sure that, we're answering the questions that you had.
Are we doing that one next week?
Oh, yeah. That's what we're talking about next week. So we had, because I'm an organized person, at least as it compares to other people, we have mapped out like what we're going to be talking about next week. You want to tell them what we're going to talk about next week?
The stupid saying, I am the table. Oh, my goodness.
All right. So for those of y'all out there dating or who may or may not know, there's a question that is often asked of women or in general. What do you bring to the table? Right? So the table is the relationship table. This is the table where you dine, where everyone comes together. What do you bring to the table? So we're going to be talking about next week how one of us, I'm not going to say who, but one of us may have said, I am the table. Like, I don't bring anything to the table. I am the table. Like, you come and you get
I can't wait.
You need. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
It's fitting to be fire. Y'all don't want to miss it. This is us. Like, this is who we are. When we turn off this camera, we still finna to be the exact same way. And we just want y'all to pop in and enjoy with us, kick back, have some laughs with us, pull up your water, drink, enjoy. So we'll see you again next week, Monday at 7 p.m. Make sure you tune in to all of our socials and see the content that we post. We do little snippets of these episodes throughout the week, so you don't want to miss that either. Make sure you tune in and enjoy. And
that's it.
That's it. That's all we got.
We're out.
Wait.
That
I always
you
get so
impatient
excited. I know, but I get so
person.
excited. I always think you're gonna forget about it.
I will never forget that we end the show with PDA. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. Come on now. Bye, y'all.
Bye.